things about trying times is that they put everything into perspective and remind us what really matters. At its essence, faith can be distilled down to two things: love God and love neighbor. We tend to overcomplicate this, but it's not really rocket science. And during these challenging and uncertain times, I find it helpful to get back to the basics. Love God, love neighbor. But ultimately, that's what faith is all about. What these two things have in common is connection. More than anything, we all crave connection right now. For people of faith, that means connecting to God, that's the love God part, and connecting to one another, that's the neighbor part. Like many communities of faith, here at St. John's, we've been worshiping virtually. We've been live streaming our Sunday services and keeping people connected through the marvels of technology. But although we've been gathering virtually, there is nothing, absolutely nothing virtual about faith. We need that sense of hope and connection now more than ever. And while I joke about my new role as a televangelist, keeping everyone plugged in spiritually when everything around us is seemingly spinning out of control feels critically important. I've also found that human connection makes all the difference these days, and it's something we can all do. One of the ways you can stay connected with others is by using a little-known feature on your smartphone. You may not realize this, but you can actually dial a number and talk to someone. Who knew? But if there was ever a time to use your phone as a phone, this is it. Call the widow who lives up the street. Call your uncle who's struggling with depression. Call your sister who's homeschooling her young children and simply trying to make it through the day. Call in to check on your friend who's in recovery and for whom this is a particularly difficult time. No matter our circumstances, we can pick up the phone and talk to others. It's good for them, but it's also good for us. That's one way of loving our neighbor. But if we expand the definition of neighbor, and I think we have to, we can't help but take a broader view of how this time is impacting those in our midst. One of the great needs to emerge out of this pandemic here on the South Shore and all over the world is the issue of food scarcity. People are going hungry. People who have never had to use food pantries before are lining up for groceries. One of the ways we're seeking to love neighbor during this time is by turning St. John's into a community food drop-off center. We have bins outside our doors where people can drop off groceries and a team of volunteers to drive food to one of 3 local pantries we support. If you're able to assist with this effort, you can go to our parish website to view the list of items most needed by the pantries right now, or to donate financially directly to them. This is holy work that transcends denomination or faith tradition or political ideology, work that reflects our common humanity, and I encourage your participation. Love God, love neighbor. It's not complicated, but it's what we all need to do to stay connected.